Although you could read it in the credits that the film was produced by Ben Neighbors' production studio named Group Theory. That's kind of odd because you saw us theorizing about groups in the film, and there's no connection between the name of the production company. In fact, we had a lot of fun learning about films, and they had hopefully some fun learning about the economics. You saw Kun Sombat in this film featured, really, one of the main actors, and the Thai Family Research Project. Not only do they and continue to gather the data, we're up to 15 years, but also they were the ones that allowed the film to happen when Jen and Natalie went over there traveling. You know, it was Thai Family who were basically hosting them and providing the entrees to the households, and hence the film itself. I also, although unfortunately she couldn't come tonight, I want to thank my wife, Pram, not only for all the support over the years, but those Thai here or Thai speakers may have picked up the nuances of the different dialects across the different provinces in Thailand, and Pram was instrumental in, you know, listening over and over again to try to get an accurate, you know, true English translation that you saw on the subtitles. As was mentioned, the book, the story of gathering the data, Chronicles from the Field, that Bill helped began basically, is available back there. And let me just say that it, in terms of what it is, it's not a standard book about how to do surveys. Those books are rather dry. They have a list of, you know, things you need to do, and we do them to ensure the accuracy of the data that are gathered. But the book is about how the story about how it actually happens in getting households to answer the questions, and the drama among the enumerators and so on. So I think you'll find it's a rather unusual, hopefully lively book, and if I'd be happy to sign any copies if you like. So I hope there may be some questions.
Hi, thank you very much. I have a question about something that happened toward the end of the film, where there was some talk about how the government could possibly aid in these efforts, but it was a little vague to me as to what that would look like. What governmental initiatives would be helpful in these small enterprises without ruining the good dynamic that is going on? And is that possible in Thailand with the state in place, and how similar would that be to other developing countries?
Yes, so you're right, it is a bit vague at the end, and a bit of a mixed message. The film is about how it's the households themselves who are making the growth happen. It's a simple, you know, message. There is a temptation in development, and certainly on the part of governments, to think that they have to be instrumental and take the lead and bring in development programs, whereas we're saying, in part, you know, get out of the way and let people innovate. So as you can see, the financial system over the years, you know, did play a role. And so one of the ideas we have, which is supported in the research, is allowing more free entry into the financial sector. It's still relatively closed. And in fact, because of the Thai financial crisis, which started with the finance companies, you know, the government is rightly conservative in terms of supporting innovation and so on. But nowadays, with cell technology and cell phones, there are, possible innovations that could happen. They are happening in other countries. We think that that could be, quite helpful as just one example. I mean, there's a related thing I could say also, which is this view about supporting small business. I mean, in the U.S. and many countries, it's kind of the view that you have to train people starting from scratch. They don't really know how to do anything. You've got to teach them the marketing and the production planning and the accounting and all of that. And that's not the view that hopefully is coming across in the film. These are like indigenous entrepreneurs, many of them, not all of them, have a very good sense of what they're doing. They don't keep accounts necessarily, and they don't do accounting. There is a line in the film that it may be puzzling when it says, it took us over 3 years to do this. Well, it's not like we just figured out ourselves how to do financial accounting and we had all the numbers. The reason it took us so long was we had to map the conceptual framework of corporate financial accounting so that it was appropriate, to the households in these villages. They didn't show us their books. Many of them don't keep the books. We had to take the many detailed answers to the questions and write computer code so that it would automate the creation of the accounts. We started with a handful of households that varied quite a bit, one rice farmer and one dairy farmer, that challenged us to deal with some of the more problematic aspects. And the code is, something like, 40 or 50 pages of single-line code. But once it runs, now we can, create the accounts and update the accounts. So that part about creating accounts per se on the code doesn't take that long. But